Oh my
Like we
gosh.
always do,
Thank you.
about that time. It's that time of the week, that time of the hour, and it's Friday, baby. Welcome back for another brand new episode of the Beyond Expectation podcast with your two most favorite co-hosts in the entire world, myself, Eduardo, and my boy, Bertaris Maximus, aka the White Rhino. Brother, here we are again, another day in the virtual studio, and it's long awaited. But before we start this madness and craziness on this episode, I always like to do the proper thing, and the respectful thing is ask you, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm okay. I'm alive, you know.
Okay.
I don't really have anything, I mean, we'll talk about all the depression and anxiety I'm going through on one of our topics, but other than that, good.
As long as I don't see rope behind you or anything that I think could be a threat to you, I'm okay, and I feel comfortable that you'll be okay. But
Mm-mm.
other than that, okay, I believe you. I mean, hey man, as long as you're here, we're good. We're here on the pod.
I
Uh
had a chance to take a life today and instead went the other way. I decided
okay.
to let a life thrive, you know? You know me, I've been catching rats on the regular, right?
Rest on the regular. Yes, yes.
So,
Actually, let's go into a little bit of that. So I saw what I would say is one of the best pieces of content I've seen in my life, and it was you. Obviously, what you're referring to, what my boy here's referring to. I'll paint the picture, or I'll paint the description of this. He videotaped him and his daughter releasing what it was, a rat into the
caught
wild,
rat.
back into its environment. And I'm assuming you're referring to that. You could have probably stomped it out. You probably could have stoned it to death, or you probably could have shot it. One of those three, right? I mean,
The
overall, you could have
plan,
taken its life.
I had three choices today. Three choices. One was snuff it out with the BB gun, pump it 10 times, hold it up to its head, pull the trigger, right?
Yes,
That
sir.
was the initial plan.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was thinking, you know what? That might get messy, and I don't really want to mess with a bunch of blood, and I don't want to traumatize my daughter because she's going to watch me snuff this thing out. So,
Oh man.
and this is the type of thing that my daughter gives me, right? This is, you know,
Ooh, let's see that masterpiece. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So,
I love you.
I,
Oh, that's so
I don't,
sweet,
I
man.
don't want, I don't want to ruin that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So the next option was okay. So it's in a live trap, right? It's caught live.
Mm-hmm.
I can slowly dip it down in a tub of water,
Mm-hmm.
right? I had a little bin that I could have just filled up with water and just let it peacefully drown.
Pretty brutal, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's people talked me into that one. They said, "Yeah, that's kind of a
It's
painful death, bro.
it's
Like
the
imagine
least
if
messy.
someone sentenced you to death by drowning." I'm like, "All right, good point." So I always thought about doing it the way I always want to go out, and I
Mhm.
was just thinking, okay, I'll just put him in the garage, and then hook up the hose to my exhaust, and then I'll just like let him go to sleep slowly with just turn on my car and. But I thought, well, then I'd probably die too.
Rev it up a couple times, but before you know it, you go to sleep too. You're like, oh
Right,
shit.
we both go to sleep. Yeah, a little bit of
Never
carbon
wake up.
monoxide. So, and then I more thought about it, and I talked to some people. I bounced it off some people's head,
Mhm.
and they said, "Is releasing it not an option?" I'm like, I never thought of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So anyway, so I found one of my enemies that I hate. I went to their house and I just released the rat over to their house.
Oh, perfect.
So
Two
that
for
was
one.
yeah, they have a nice yard, nice foresty yard, so what I didn't put their house in the footage, but it was beyond the forest, and so I just so now they're gonna have to deal with my rat. No,
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
I was gonna be like, hey, it works. All right. It's an eye for an eye. And it's like I said, it's a two for one combo. You let life
Yeah,
prosper and you say F you to your next door neighbor.
yeah, but I decided to put some sentimental music on the video,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I'm like thinking, man, this could have totally went totally different. It could have been bloody, it could have been traumatic, and instead it just went peaceful, and
Yeah.
the little rat was just jumping through the meadows, and it was a touching moment. So I thought, and Izzy was happy the whole time. My little girl, she was so happy that it lived, and I was like, I made the right decision.
You won that battle for me, but next time.
Yo, she asked me, she goes, "Why do we only have one live trap? Why don't we have more?"
Whoa.
Because she knows that there's two that kill them. Well, there's three that kill him. There's two snap traps and
Yeah.
one poison box, and and so she really loved that view of life. So
Interesting.
you know,
Okay.
so I might
Okay.
have to like maybe disengage the other ones. I don't know. We'll see. I thought we caught all the rats already. I was really surprised that we caught a rat today, but he was a young one. So there's definitely a new litter out there. Papa was spreading the seed.
Hey, you'll have more. So hey, that's not
But
the last you'll see it, and that's the last time you probably have your chance to, like I said, slowly drown one, like you said, or probably feed a little bit of methane. Just fucking rev the engine a couple times and just let it go to sleep, man. So
oh, dude. Well, if I was single, it would have been a totally different situation. Let me tell you. And speaking of being single, did you see our one of our? I wouldn't call him a hero. I wouldn't even call him an idol, but someone we joke around a lot with, like with memes and all that.
okay.
Um, Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
Yes, I did see something
He,
about that. Yeah, let's fill
yeah,
this in. What's going on? I did see an article about it.
he died.
He went out on a I guess just done. But the
Did
crazy
he
thing
kill
is,
himself?
that's the thing. So they're saying, right? How did he kill himself in a correctional maximum facility? Like how did that happen?
How did Epstein?
Yeah, right. That's the stuff I want to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
something I
There's
would want to know.
well, and here's the thing. Let's talk a little bit about Theodore Kaczynski real
Okay,
quick. Is
let's do it.
he was one of those people that was looking at technology.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Elon Musk tweeted about it today, and I wish I would have saved it. Dude, I got on Twitter and I freaking love it. I love it.
Oh
I won't put my
yeah.
name out there, but I love it. I just got in it for the crypto, but anyway, so Elon Musk, so it responded to this tweet, but the tweet was talking about how the Unabomber was way back in the day. We're talking like late 80s, early 90s. He was like sending packaged bombs to people and, maiming them, killing them, and whatnot. And he wrote a manifesto. And in his manifesto, it's just talking about how the industrial revolution and technology is destroying humanity. And a lot of what we're seeing right now with technology, like look at how social media has just destroyed our culture. Look at TikTok, look at the Twitter beefs, look at everything that we see with technology and what it's done. And what it's done to our society. It's really degraded our society. He called a lot of that stuff.
Hmm.
And so that's what he was writing. So, it's almost like if he had developed more social skills, he could have actually been uh, a pioneer or at least a voice against the technology, because it was like his perspective. He was just so brilliant. He was beyond, he was like, I wouldn't say Elon Musk brilliant, but like Jordan Peterson, Theodore Kaczynski, Elon Musk, they could have sat down and had a really deep conversation, but he just was so socially inept and decided to go the way of violence instead.
Kill
So
people.
he had some scrambled eggs
Yeah,
in
yeah.
addition to, his high IQ, but so he took a really weird route. Anyway, so they ended up finding him. It was his brother that ended up turning him in because he recognized his, I guess, his handwriting in one of his letters. Like, oh my
Mhm.
God, that looks like my brother's handwriting. So he put the tip in. FBI raided him, found him living in like a shack in Montana, and took him in. And I think that was like 96, maybe 95, 96. And yep, sentenced him to life in that federal max. And today he died.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's but the question is, like you said, like how did he just take himself like that? Did they just let him kill himself, or what? Did they know that he was gonna do this? They're just like, screw it. You might as well just let him exit. I mean, he's probably gonna he's gonna wind up there for the rest of his life. So what's the difference? But either way, I mean, I know they're not supposed to just let people just take themselves out, but
When
damn,
I hear that someone's 81 and dies, I never think of suicide.
yeah.
I'm thinking, so, I mean, here's the thing. You can be on max security, prison, whatever.
Mm.
But, and I don't know. It's like, I'm sure he still has enough time to do whatever. So if that's the way he chose, I mean, whatever.
It is, right?
He lived to be 81. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
going to
quite
be
a bit. Yeah.
81. I'll suffer a massive heart attack before that happens.
I hope not. I really hope not. But hey. Hey, when your time comes, your time comes. That's all I could say, right? That's just
It
kind of like the name
it
of the game.
Yeah, it just depends on if like we have a Bolshevik type revolution that happens in our country, which I think is happening right now as we speak. I think it's happening right in front of our eyes. They just haven't seized the power completely yet. But when that does, if that does, they'll take me out long out of the game before any heart attack could ever get me. So I'm inviting that to happen as well. Anybody that sees this in the future, if a Bolshevik revolution does take place and the ultra leftists take over, put me on your radar. Take me to your camps, the gulags, whatever you guys are doing. You know, I'm there to play.
I'm there to, this rhino's got he's got a lot of fight in him, so don't get it twisted, you know.
Yeah. Well, the plan is to not make it as far as the gulag. The plan is for them to take me out, with necessary means.
Oh man. So in the realms of you were talking about obviously drowning, water, cage, and all that. We're talking about the rat that you captured, right?
Yeah.
And automatically came to a video I came across within the Twitter webs, just like you were saying. This gentleman, he was forgot what part like of the ocean or what ocean or what area he was at, but he was swimming. And dude, brutal. This video's brutal. Again,
Mhm.
I'm
Oh,
sure you
you're
can
talking about
find
the
it.
shark?
Yes. Oh my dude.
Are you talking about the one in Egypt?
In Egypt.
Oh, the one
Yes.
you sent me.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. One. I'll tell you what.
No, you didn't send that to me.
No, I thought I
Gus
did.
sent it to me.
I might have sent it to you, but whatever.
Okay.
Point is, adding more to the bucket list on why I fear the ocean, dude. But I mean, let's be real, right? Why would you even go into waters that are shark infested? You would have to know, like, okay, or even the people that are locals. Hey, don't go over there. Don't dare jump. Don't jump into the ocean. There are sharks here. But a homeboy, for whatever reason, I don't know if he was. I think it was a challenge or something. I guess I don't know if I'm reading the story correctly. What did he do? Something
Nice.
like challenge where he just said, it's for the TikTok or it's for the gram or whatever. He
Yeah.
decided to jump in there, and lo and behold, he comes across sharks, and they're all taking a piece of him one by one, and eventually he just got killed.
Now, didn't the Egyptian this happened in Egypt, right?
I believe so. I think you're correct on that. Yeah.
Okay, didn't the Egyptians go out the very next day and look for the shark that killed him and then killed the shark?
Yeah, but it's like what's fault for the shark? Like, I mean, dude, I'm sure that they're gonna confuse you for whatever it is. I mean, dude, they're just machines at this point. Like, what do you think is gonna be any different for a human compared to a fish? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, come on, man.
So the video that Scott sent me, the guy was asking, how do you know that was even the shark? It was just some random shark
Like,
violence,
Like, wait a minute. How do we know this was the exact one that just
Was he wearing the same
devoured?
outfit he was wearing the day that he ate the other guy? I mean, how do you know? Was it facial recognition? Was it,
man, AI pointed it out somehow. I don't know, man. But more of the story. I hate the ocean. That's one of the reasons why I don't like the ocean. It's a beautiful place, I'm sure, with all the fish swimming peacefully. But for great white sharks, dude, oh no, I come across videos and if I freak myself out. Like, these things are massive and they're just out there swimming. And to even like see one, like if you're out there, like even like shark cage diving and all that, it's an experience, I bet. But there's no way anyone would pay me money. I mean, depending, I guess there's a price for everything, right? But dude, no, I just it's crazy to think like this person would even put themselves in that situation to dive in there, dude. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, okay, so you were talking like TikTok or whatever. The what was the guy? Was it on TikTok or was it YouTube? He was some sort of a content producer, and he took off on his airplane, and then
he like let it fucking just go into like the mountains, just let it.
Yeah, he was the pilot, and then he decided to jump out with a parachute,
and then he just let the airplane crash. Yeah, he got sentenced. Yeah, he got sentenced to prison for, I don't know, it's a couple of years and a hefty fine. It's like, dude, you realize that thing could have probably landed on somebody or potentially killed somebody on the way down.
Started a forest fire.
It started a forest fire. Yeah, I mean, there's
many things that could have went wrong.
For some reason, why I'm like, this is something Brett would do. I don't know why that came to mind. This is something Brett would do.
No, like I would never do that. Like, unless it was in China. I would do it if it were in China. And the only way they could extradite me is if, like,
oh my God,
Biden and team let them, but then they would, but whatever.
So in
But I
China, that's the only place you would do it.
yeah, I mean, and it would literally go down on Beijing. Like it would be like it would, yeah. I would let it fall on the Communist Party warehouse, whatever their building is, their version
Oh.
of the White House.
Well, yeah, man, it's but yeah, that was crazy to just think like, why would you want to do it? I guess it's like that just shows you how far people are willing to go to get content that's going to be gold so he can just gain views and then make you money. Because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want people to view this. You want people to view this to a certain amount to where it's going to get you paid. Or otherwise, what would you do it? It's not like, oh, hey, today I feel like I'm gonna go skydiving. I'm gonna just let this plane freaking dive into the mountains or whatever, or wherever you're at,
Maybe,
you know. I
maybe
just don't get
because
it.
that's what Uncle Teddy Kaczynski predicted would happen, and maybe that's why he took himself out of the game. He was just like, "All right, enough is enough." He
I've had
just
enough
read
of
too many
this.
headlines, and he's like, "This is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about." He just went to his cell and called it a day.
Is I'm out. It's too much, too much. What is it? Influence from the internet, too much. Everybody's sucked into it. But yes, it's wild. It's wild to think that, from the guy diving into the ocean with the sharks to this gentleman just free balling that airplane down into wherever it landed. It's crazy. Like
Yeah,
it's all content based and it's all just for social media purposes, correct? So it's wild to me. I don't know. I just don't
this
get
is
why
his last
people think
video,
like
right?
that. Yeah. This is the
Yeah,
last video? What do you mean?
I'm sure it was.
Oh,
I don't think he was putting any more content out after that.
no,
After
not
he was
after
put
that,
in
man.
handcuffs.
Oh no, hell no, bro. But yeah, more of the story. Social media can be good, social media can be bad, but that's up to you. I mean, if you're just sucked into it, that's you. But to me, I just see it as like, hey, I use it when it's convenient, but I'm not really like gonna be on my phone 24/7, just sucked into mine, you know. So there's more to
Yeah,
life, people. There's more to life.
clout chasing and cloud racing
Bars off top?
always.
Always, always. Okay, okay. I got you. Okay, okay. Well, today we have a full slate, and oh man, I know there's a lot of ground to cover here. I know we missed a couple 2 weekends, right? We missed 2 weekends.
We missed two. Yeah, I
Yeah,
tried to get one in, but it was just I couldn't do it.
it's all good. It's all good. But we're here now. That's what's important. So here we are. So we got some. It's just where to start. This is kind of one of those days
So
where like
much has happened.
so much has happened. So much. So today we agreed we want to talk about the Las Vegas incident, just to make sure we're on the same page.
Which one?
The Las Vegas incident.
Oh yeah, let's start with
Okay.
that one.
All right, baby. Let's go. Let's gear up. Let's saddle that horse, and let's just jump onto it, people.
Mhm.
So, of course, on this podcast, we like to talk about the most randomest topics that happened during the week. Obviously, we're gonna talk about what happened during the weeks that we've been absent. There's so much ground to cover, but this one in particular, we've talked about this before. The topic of UAPs. The topic about UFOs. Well,
Mm,
things are getting crazy. Things are heating up. There's a lot of stuff coming out about this, right? From the whistleblower talking about him being in the UAP program and retrieving these aerial crafts that have exotic materials from non-human life. I guess that he was saying.
yeah,
But more of the
yeah.
story, something's going on. What is it? Well, we're gonna dissect and I guess investigate here on this podcast. So
We
here we
should.
go. The title of this little piece we call Las Vegas Man describes terrifying experience of seeing UFO in the night sky and 10-foot aliens in his backyard as he releases recording of his panicked encounter. And we're also, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Brett, we're gonna actually play some of that audio too after we're done with this article.
Are we?
Are we?
We
I thought you
can.
had. Oh, okay. I thought you might have had it. That's why I was kind of asking about that.
No, I was just playing it for you, but
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm sure I can find it and put it on a speaker.
Okay, cool. All right. So while my boy here is doing that, I'm gonna read a little bit of this article just to get you kind of into it and what's going on. If nobody's heard about this encounter or this situation that's happened in Las Vegas, let's dive right in. A Las Vegas man who claimed to have witnessed two 8-foot creatures with big shiny eyes in his own backyard last month spoke out about the mysterious encounter, explaining what he experienced the night of May 31st. The YouTube video posted Thursday presented further details about the alleged UFO crash and the creatures the man called 100% not human. I know some people are not going to believe this, he begins, but I just want to tell you about what happened to me and my family. The man then details the evening's development step by step. Here's something fall from the sky. I turn around. The only thing I see is a big light falling from the sky. And moments later, I feel a big impact and a bang, the man claimed in a now viral YouTube video. Let's see, let's go down. In its explanation video, he also revealed new ring camera footage, allegedly from a neighbor's security camera, which clearly shows a bright light with the sound of a massive bang. When that happened, the only thing I can see in the backyard is a tall creature, probably around 8 feet to 10 feet tall, very thin. He further added. So I called my dad. He went to the backyard and he saw the same creature I saw. He told me to go inside the house. At this point, we're all freaking out, me and my family. The man described the figure he supposedly saw as a tall, skinny, lengthy creature in grayish green in color. When I looked at it in its eyes, my body just froze, like the same experience of having sleep paralysis. He said about the terrifying encounter. I could hear his loud, deep breathing. I could see his stomach moving. He would just stare at me. Seconds later, I could start moving again. That's when I called 911. He said before playing the previously shared police call. This comes after police body cam of Vegas officers who responded to the man's call was released, which showed their camera picking up a strange blue ball of light at about 11:50 p.m. on April 30th. Approximately 30 minutes after the first call, another resident contacted 911 saying that there were two unknown entities in his backyard after he saw an object fall from the sky. The man's new video posted June 8th has already reached 320,663 views and nearly 4,000 comments, with many skeptical of his story, while others thanking him for sharing it. The clip called I Had Aliens in My Backyard Part 1 is the first video on the man's YouTube account, Alien Society 51. It's unclear whether the part 2 will be coming soon. Social media users left stunned, sharing various theories, explanations for the man's bizarre story. While many seem to be totally convinced of the veracity of the story, others are questioning why there are no photos of the creatures who supposedly spent some time in the family's backyard. I want to believe, but extremely suspicious that you recorded everything surrounding the event, but didn't manage to take a single photo or video of the creatures or the supposed spacecraft. It just seems a bit hard to believe. No offense, especially since you recorded everyone standing around looking at the backyard, but you didn't zoom in or try to get on the camera or try to get it on the camera. The whole thing just seems a bit fishy to me. One skeptical user wrote. Despite speculation, the majority of users commenting are invested in the story, anticipating a part 2. One user said, the ring video is intriguing. I'm surprised not more people in the neighborhood were trying to figure out the loud noise. Looking forward to part 2. Thank you. Others are calling the man brave and sharing similar experiences. I'm very interested in your encounter. I've had a similar experience. One thing I can warn you about is that once you've had an encounter, you will start to have other bizarre things happen. There will be a lot of people who would ridicule you. I honestly had more trauma inflicted on me by the UFO community than the alien beings ever did. Stay strong. You're a brave young man, one user wrote. Excuse me. Some point to the fact that police admitted to seeing, something fall out of the sky too, as a sign that the man's story is believable, or at least that something definitely crashed. What I find more believable is the fact that it was not the kid only that saw it, but their entire family, it seems. I want to believe this one. The question is, if not aliens, what did crash? With two nearby Air Force bases, Creech and Nealis, there is a theory that a piece of aircraft may be behind the crash. An 8 News Now report, which originally broke the story, shared the theory, but the Air Force bases have denied being involved. The report also mentions a possible equipment malfunction, which the government collects. Another plausible theory is simply that the man's story is an elaborate hoax. Despite the unanswered questions, the man's testimony and the video footage has sent shockwaves across social media platforms, captivating users with its bewildering chain of events. Yeah, that's pretty much the story of kind of what happened during that incident in Las Vegas. So what do you think, brother? Let's dissect. What's your thought on this story? And also, I don't know if, like you said, you had any video or any audio of you may find about the phone call, maybe, so people can kind of get a gist of what this man was saying when he called 911, explaining to the police officers on what he saw, what happened. So yeah, if you have it, I mean, feel free to share.
I think I have like the call, so I'll just have to hold the speaker up.
Perfect. That'll work, man.
Pretty elaborate setup I have going on today.
Beautiful. It works, baby. Let's hear it.
All right.
Person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot. 9 feet, 10 foot, I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes, they have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human. There's like
Whoa. So that was the phone call by the young man, and the 911 call. And yeah, so you said that the police, I guess they had some dash cam footage of light coming down.
Yeah,
and,
there was a video out there that I did see myself. That's actually kind of what drove me to this article, because it said that their body cam caught something coming down, like a blue, like something blue, just like a fireball, but it was like a bluish colorish, and it just crashed literally right behind it. Now,
yeah,
I know I've heard of satellite debris, like just old satellites just come crashing down. My theory, just kind of what I think it is, could be just something coming, like some space debris just falling into the atmosphere, boom, and falling down into somewhere here on this planet. But it's so where it gets weird, obviously, to me personally, is when they talk about seeing these creatures that are 8 feet tall or 10 feet tall, but there's no video of it. And I've tried to kind of search for, see if there's any type of other like evidence in regards to video of this situation. I haven't found any. So, I mean, that kind of, makes me believe that part's kind of not true. But I mean, obviously, when you get the cops involved and all that, and they're seeing something too, kind of like out of the realms of norm, like that's not something that they see every day. Obviously, it's going to be like, oh man, this is it right here. This is what we've been waiting for. This could be it. But I don't know, man. I truly, again, it could be, my guess is space debris. That's just my guess.
Space debris. Wouldn't it have been left though behind? Because
that's what I'm saying. Like, if that is the case, or if it did crash, like, show evidence that there's like a crater that it created from falling into that place. Because if something did truly fall,
there was supposed to be, I think they took a photo of like a 25-foot ring diameter circle. And it left an imprint, but then that was the only thing left behind, was just the imprint. So it like went away right after that.
Wow. Okay. That I did not know.
So that, I mean, okay. So, we're going to have fun with this one.
Okay, let's go.
I'm going to let the skeptical side of me go away. I'm just going to go full in as if this were feasible.
Okay.
So, all right. Area 51 is nearby. Right. And we know that some of the homies from the previous crashes have been taken to Area 51. So the homies are coming in. They want, like, they want a proper burial for their ancestors, or, the people, the aliens that have died in the past in previous car accidents or UFO accidents, UAP accidents. And so, but here's what happened. They go to Vegas. They're flying over Vegas and they see all the shiny lights. They're like, "Oh man, I gotta hit some slots, some casinos." And
hit up the
Vegas,
get some drinks.
is a fun place, man. I mean, you don't think that we're the only ones having fun. You went twice in 1 month, to Vegas.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, 2 times in the months back to back, kind of.
Yeah, okay, back to back. Yeah, you went 2 months in a row.
Yeah,
to Vegas, and you think that the aliens that are flying over, that they don't want a piece themselves?
They're curious, right? Yeah.
So I think they had some drinks, right? Because they probably shapeshift. They probably look like humans,
True. There's that theory too as well out there. Yep.
So they probably, got a little tanked, and then they got in the ship, and then they just were too inebriated to really keep it steady, right? And now we have the story that we have, where they crashed in, right? And he's just like in his drunken stupor, just looking around like, "Oh man, what do I do?" And then the other guy is like, "Dude, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here." And then all of a sudden, whoop, they get out.
Dude.
And so now this is what we have.
I mean, I can't put it past the realm of possibilities, man. I mean, who knows? Like, you're right. Like, maybe they're just like us. They're curious. They like to have fun. They're about having a good time. Yeah. Who's gonna deny seeing all these shiny lights down there? Like, oh, the Bellagio? What is that?
I drink, I smoke.
Yeah. You drink, you smoke, you might like to gamble. Maybe they're super nerd aliens that they learn how to pick up gambling. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go hit the slots. I'm gonna play a little bit of blackjack, 21 or whatever it is to play, and have a good time. And you're right. Maybe they had a little too many, drinks here and there, got pretty wasted, got in their ship. They're still hammered drunk. They crashed. Like, dude, we need to get back to Zeta Reticuli, whatever that place that Bob Lazar said they came from, or whoever said that. And they crashed, looked around like, okay, dude, let's just leave like nothing happened. Boom, got in, dipped out.
Yeah. And I was talking to a UFO guy. Actually, no, I can tell you on the air. Our Bigfoot hunter. Hector.
Okay. Shout out Hector.
Talking to him today and about the whole situation, and he wasn't too up to speed on it, but I told him, I said, yeah, the guy said he's like 8 foot tall. He was saying blue or whatever, or no, gray or whatever. Big eyes. So no, big eyes. Yeah, big eyes and 8 foot. That was the description. He said, "Oh yeah, that sounds like the blue aliens. They're actually good." So apparently the grays they're still good, but they're shorter. But the blues, they're good, but they're just bigger. And then, but the ones that we have to be worried about are the reptilian aliens. Those are the ones that they're the bad guys. Yeah. So just like Bigfoot, we have the different they have the brown Bigfoot are the nice ones. They have like a yellow eye, but then there's the black Bigfoots and they have the red eyes. Those are the bad ones. So you don't want to touch those ones. So
definitely. Yeah, no, yeah, that's true. There's different I guess different forms or different species, you could say, of different Bigfoot that are more aggressive, ones that are more peaceful, that they don't bother you, but they let hey, this is our territory. So they say, right? So I mean, I want to put it out. I want to put it past it. There's different types of aliens out there. Who knows?
Yep.
Reptilians, that sounds about right. I mean, they're probably the ones that we definitely want to stay away from, but all the other ones, like I said, they're curious just as we're curious about them. They want to see what we're all about. Let's see what's going down on planet Earth. Let's go check it out. And that's why maybe we're seeing more activity. What if they're more curious? They're sending messages out there, be like, hey, it's popping over here. You know what I'm saying? Come check it out. You might want to just crash land over here, check it out for a little bit. Don't want to stay, but check it out and then dip out, go back to your home base. But I don't know. But it's definitely an interesting.
It's definitely beyond expectation. I'll tell you that.
Beyond expectation for sure. Just because there's more activity in regards to just the topic of UAPs, UFOs in general, but also we mentioned the whistleblower David
Gersh or something
like that. So just right off top, since we're on this topic, I don't know if you've seen the video of his small interview. I think it was a couple minutes long.
Okay.
What's your take on that? Like, just hearing him out and just what he has to say, knowing his credentials, knowing that he was part of this UAP program, that he was actually, in I think he was Air Force, I believe.
Air Force,
Air Force, right? So what's your thoughts on that, my friend?
I don't think that people put their careers on the line and everything they work for, their reputation, everything, right? I don't think that normal people put everything on the line unless they feel like they need to. And that's the vibes I get from him. I get Bob Lazar vibes from him, like, man, the guy, that is some crazy stuff, but I think he's seen some stuff and I think he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
I think he's seen something. Okay. And I think he's trying to take the proper channels to get it out there, but he keeps running into pushback by our own government.
For sure.
And so I think he's seen something.
So one thing, obviously, I'm kind of going off what you're saying right now, right? What type of individual wakes up one day thinking to himself or herself, like, I have to say this, regardless of my career and what I've done for this country of ours, lovely America.
Yeah.
I have to come out and tell the people, because it's injustice that we're not, I guess, shown this type of information to let us know that something is going on. Like, this is not of human origin, as he was saying, right? But at the same time, it's almost kind of like a sense of security for himself, because it's better to put all this info out, let them know that it's coming from him. It's like a sense of security, because if they take him out, I'm just saying, this is just my guess. Okay. This is what I think. If they were to take him out, it would be a little bit more suspicious. Like, how come this person just got waxed or just taken off this planet and we never heard of him again or her again or whatever?
It can still happen.
It can still happen. But knowing that he actually says something, I think the U.S. now is like, okay, he's a little too hot right now. We can't touch him. So let's just back off a little bit. And I think there's something that he mentioned in there that was really interesting, where he was saying that he wants to take it to Congress, because there's a way to fight it to where this won't put him in the realms of getting arrested or spending time behind bars.
Yeah, whistleblower.
So he wants to go through these proper channels to kind of have his back on that as well. So he's already crossed the line right now, but I guess for preventing him from potentially being arrested, right? But the vibe I got from him, it's almost as like you're right. Like it just gave me that feeling that he saw something. Like there's definitely something he can't wrap his head around. Like is this this can't be man-made, or this can't be something that we created somewhere, or another country created. There's just no explanation for whatever it is that they have. And he's talking about having retrievals of these aircraft from exotic origins and all this stuff. And I was just like, dude, I just couldn't like when I was just watching this, it just felt something out of a movie, but at the same time, like, no, this is real. Like this dude is coming out saying, we have stuff here that we have no explanation. And they also asked him a question in regards to, were there incidences where you recover these aircraft that we were involved, like we were pretty much in a any casualties in while we were retrieving these, were there any casualties on our end as we were retrieving these? And he just said, all I can say is there was just incidences where something of that nature had happened, and that's all I'm gonna say. And I'm like,
wow.
Like, wow. I'm like, if that's true, bro. I don't know, man. That's where it gets kind of tricky, like for me, man. That's where I just if it freaked me out, like to think we're aliens shot at us first, or we shot at them first. We don't know. He never said anything specifically, but he just said there have been instances where something around those lines had happened. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think props to him, because here's the thing. Now, depending on how this goes, and if Congress does their job and they do give him the protection that he deserves, to at least hear him out.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to do two things. One, it's gonna validate his claims, right? Or at least allow it to be investigated further. Two, it's going to encourage others who have also seen things to say something. And then, you know what? I said two, but now I'm thinking of a third. Third is, it's going to allow whatever truth is out there to come out more, because obviously the US government specifically is trying to keep this stuff suppressed. They are trying to keep this truth from being out in the open. They do not want that truth out there, whatever this truth is, whether it's man-made, whether it is alien origin, whatever it is. There are people that have a lot to say about this, and the US government by contract has been able to keep people silent. And so when these people are starting to talk, hey, that gets us more toward the truth. And our government has silenced us for far too long over stuff that we should be knowing. This is stuff we should be knowing. Whatever is going on, I want to know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So as of now, I think they were saying something in regards to there's going to be a better in-depth interview with him. And I'm going to definitely be all ears on that as well when this comes out. So definitely we're going to keep you lovely folks who are listeners to this, to the Beyond Expectation podcast. We'll keep all you lovely folks up to date on just what transpires from that. And we'll keep you posted. But as of now, that's the big one. That is the one that pretty much put the magnifying glass in the on the topic of UFOs, UAPs. So definitely more to come here in the near future, but we'll see what's gonna happen, man. So yeah, it's as of late, that's been the topic of the hot topic of the month so far of the year, possibly. So we'll see.
And you know me, I mean, I've been an alien skeptic this whole time.
For sure.
And I still am. But I do think there's something going on. I think there's some sort of top secret truths out there that something is out there, something is going on. I don't know what it is, but it's something is being hidden. Something is being hidden, and I don't know what it is, and I want to know what it is.
No, dude, I just want to know there's aliens out there we could potentially have on the podcast. I'm like, tell us about the galaxy. Tell us about, all the places you've been. I mean, is there more life out there? I mean, dude, why not? Right?
I want to know if
horizons.
Like if you go read like the Bible and the Old Testament, and they would call them like the Nephilim and whatever, the different types of, like, they were calling them angels, but for all we know, they could have been aliens as well, right? They could have been the aliens that exist, somehow survived the great flood of the ark or whatever.
Yeah.
But I want to know if these aliens are attracted to humans, human females, know?
Why not? That's a good question. I want to know that. Yeah. Or even one, like, see these pyramids? Did you guys have any
Yo,
we partake
tell
in
me about
this?
these pyramids, bro.
Yeah.
Tell
What
me
do they
about
do?
the Mayans. Did
Yeah.
did you just mess up with the Mayans or what? Because the Egyptians get all the clout. The
Right.
Mayans get left out.
Left out,
Like,
right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they get a little bit of due respect, but not like the Egyptians, right? The
Oh, yeah.
Egyptians are like, "Oh, we got hieroglyphics, bro." But then, you go to the Mayans, they're like, "Yeah, we got this pyramid, but we got this calendar, bro.
Yeah.
Got this
Say,
calendar that reads the end of time, bro."
yeah. Say, was that
So,
just like, yeah, I mean,
2012.
was that one of your ancestors that did that? Like, we want to know. That's the stuff we as humans would want to know. But yeah,
Yeah.
man. No, it's interesting stuff overall. Definitely interesting stuff. So yeah, more of the story. Are we alone? Probably not. It's looking like we're not, but we'll see. We'll see.
What's happening?
So, right, brother, you said you have some stuff in regards to crypto and all these lawsuits that are just taking place as of now with that. Fill us in. Talk to the people about just crypto in general. What's going on? Are they trying to put a full-on halt on it? Fill us in. Fill us in.
It's not looking good. Not looking good. I would recommend. I feel bad for anybody who have ever tried to get to invest in crypto has put money in because you've most likely lost. That's why I tell everybody I'm not a financial advisor.
Exactly. Yeah, he said it many times. You got proof. You got proof.
Yeah. I don't promise gains at all. I just say, hey, if this thing does work, we're on the way home.
On the way to the moon.
But yes, so I'm wearing my Monero shirt. That's the privacy token, privacy coin that they've that is in the cryptocurrency space, and in that it's the one that all the governments hate, this one trick, and that's Monero. You want complete privacy, complete freedom, Monero's the way to go. But anyway, so what I wanted to, I took some notes, so I'm gonna kind of go through the notes, so hopefully I'm not too robotic in it.
Oh,
but
man, go for it,
this
baby.
stuff that's just been going through my head. But if you are in crypto, your portfolio has most likely been decimated. Especially if you had anything outside of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been taking a little bit of a slide, but mostly everything that's related to these lawsuits, back-to-back lawsuits by Gary Gensler and the Security Exchange Commission. And but there's so much to this story, and I'm gonna try to tie some of this in, but also I want you to pay attention on a Freemasonry level. The number 13 is in both of these lawsuits. Check this out. This is weird. All right. So, and by the way, nobody else has said this. I just, when I'm taking notes, I'm like noticing things. I'm like, this is really Freemasonry type stuff right here. But so Security Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler sues Binance and Binance CEO CZ Changpeng Zhao. And there are 13, remember that number, 13 complaints
13.
among them.
13, baby.
Being that they are, some of these charges include being an unregistered exchange, broker, and clearing agency, an unregistered offer and sale of crypto assets, failure to restrict U.S. investors from accessing Binance.com. I'm calling BS on that because Binance.com told me years ago that I had to, I was using a VPN and everything, and I still couldn't access my Binance account because they somehow, maybe it's geofencing, whatever, they figured it out that I was using a VPN, that I was in America, so they halted my account right then and there. So,
oh wow, okay,
yep, and then misleading investors. So Binance lawyers have fought back, and they're like, listen, the lawyers have said that in 2019, before Gary Gensler was the Security Exchange Commission chair, Gary Gensler offered Binance his services to work with Binance. Like, hey, I want to help you with this. I taught at MIT about blockchain, and so no details were given as to what that exchange looked like. But what we do know is that they didn't end up working together. So could have been, CZ was just like, nah, I don't want no nerdy Gary Gensler, Mr. Burns looking creatine on my team. We're only having some real OGs on this team. So that
No
could have been
squares
a
in my circle.
it could have been a personal thing where
Yeah.
he's like, Gary Gensler, like every other girl that's tried to ever hit on him or he's ever tried to hit on, was like, no, and he's like, and he's just all like slowly just getting furious on the inside, and so so that's what's going on, and so it was not good. Like BNB stock, the Binance token, just I think the day before it was like hovering around 260 270 range, and then all of a sudden whoop, dropped down to like 260, and then the next day dropped down to 250. So I think that's about where it's hovering. So a huge drop. And then not only that, but then Binance US, that's the exchange that I'm on, they're sending out notices saying, hey, we are halting dollars from going in. We are just going to be strictly a crypto exchange. There's going to be no dollars going in, no dollars going out. Strictly crypto trading platform. So that happened. I got the email, confirmed, true. But then the very next day, Gary Gensler decided to rock the market again by suing Coinbase. Now, this one was more expected because months ago, the SEC sent Coinbase a Wells notice saying, hey, we're about to sue you. We think that you're an illegal brokerage firm, or you're running, a brokerage firm illegally, whatever. And so they had noticed. So then Coinbase put out a video saying that, listen, guys, we have tried to work with you. We have tried to legalize, make sure that everything we do falls within the legal framework of the system. We're not trying to break any laws at all. We're trying to run a business. We went public. You guys allowed us to go public. You guys knew, you guys saw our business. You saw how we were doing. You let us go public. We're a publicly traded stock on the New York Stock Exchange. So, they're doing everything they can, but then they're saying that everything they do, that when they try to get their business within the, recognized by the SEC was just stonewalling. Nope, we're not going to respond. We're not going to do anything. And so instead, right, the day after the SEC sues Binance with 13 charges, the SEC announced they were now suing Coinbase for 2 complaints, which were breaking security laws and acting as a broker and exchange for 13 crypto tokens. It's where the other 13 comes in. And those tokens are Polygon, Sandbox, Filecoin, Axie Infinity, Chiliz, Flow, Internet Computer, Near, Voyager, Dash, Nexo, Solandra, and Charles Hoskinson's Cardano. Yeah, so stocks in all of those tokens just plummeted, right? To the point where there were $4 billion of deposits taken from crypto exchanges, according to blockchain data, because of all of this stuff. So the Coinbase, they months before they got sued by the SEC, they actually sued the SEC, and they're suing to ask regulators, or they're asking that the regulators be forced to publicly share its answer to a months-old petition on whether it would allow the crypto industry to be regulated using existing SEC framework. And apparently this was a petition written in July of 2022, and it's asking that the SEC propose and adopt rules to govern the regulation of securities that are offered and traded via digitally native methods, referring to digital assets like cryptocurrencies. Okay, so what's weird about this is Gary Gensler taught at MIT. He appeared to be bullish on crypto in as a whole. Well, if not a whole, at least 3/4, because when he was teaching at MIT, he once said that 3/4 of cryptocurrencies would not be considered securities. Okay, and then he even boasted about Algorand, which was one of the cryptos. Algo was in there. How come I didn't see that in the notes there? But Algorand was one of the 13. How come I don't see it on here? That's weird. But anyway, so that's one of the ones that he now deems as security. But here he was years ago talking about how it was the best thing since sliced bread. So it was just he's contradicting himself on at every corner. So people are like, what is going on with this? What is there more to this story? And basically these lawsuits didn't need to happen. Coinbase, Binance, Robinhood has also decided to take all these ones that they carried, like Cardano. I think they carried Solandra and one other one that were named in that lawsuit on Coinbase. They just decided to protect their business and say, you know what, we're going to stop trading these cryptocurrencies that have been deemed by the SEC. But they've all made huge attempts to work with the SEC to make certain that they are working within the bounds of the law. But it's the SEC themselves that are saying, nope, we're not going to answer anything. We're going to stay tight. We're going to stay tight-lipped, and you're only going to know if you're breaking the law when we sue you. And it's just, that's what's pissing so many people off, because they're like, how do we know how to invest? How do we know how to safely, put in our money? Because, you've got millions of people that are investing in crypto, and now you in one solid swoop, Gary Gensler has just put an axe to everybody's portfolio.
So interesting. So
Yep,
it almost seems like it's articulated in a sense to where slowly but surely they're creating all these they're burning all these bridges in a sense of like preventing people from actually, like you said, choosing the correct way or however it is they want to invest. But he's suing these ones to like pretty much prevent from anybody making any gains or making any money. But it's also like the one thing that sticks out to me, red flag, of course, he was all for it, but now it's kind of like he switched roles. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? And there's always a reason why. Right? Again, I'll let you go though. I have a theory.
No, I'm glad you're saying this, because that's exactly where I'm eventually getting to.
Oh, okay.
Is these theories, but I wanted to just build on it more.
For sure.
Some weird things about all this is that Gensler, when he's been giving his interviews to like Squawk Box and whatever media channels he's been talking to, he claims that we already have a digital currency, and that is the dollar, the euro, the yen, right? So he's calling these currencies that that are already fiat currencies, he's calling them the digital currencies. He's basically telling us these are the ones you're going to be trading with. These are the ones you're going to be using. And he keeps claiming that crypto is full of fraudsters, hucksters, scam artists, Ponzi schemes, right? But instead of going after FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, meme coin developers, and other nefarious actors, he decided to go after the most legitimate companies and projects and protocols, which is just threw everyone for a loop. We would expect more of like FTX. He was working with Sam Bankman-Fried. They were hanging out together. Sam Bankman-Fried had paid Joe Biden $5 million. He was the second highest donator to his campaign. So Sam Bankman-Fried was protected this whole time, and yet he's the one that caused so much havoc on the crypto market. And and so it wasn't until after the offense took place that now they have to sue him. It's so crazy. So where were you, Gary Gensler, with Sam Bankman-Fried before he was doing all this stuff, which the signs were, if you talk to anybody in the crypto space, were all there already long before. FTX was not doing anything that Coinbase and Binance and Robinhood were doing. They were not making the same attempts. They were working behind the scenes, playing a totally different game. So now what you're talking about, the theories, right? What is going on? Here are the theories, right? That that I have, that the people in crypto space have, and I want to hear your input as well. But one theory is it's appearing that the SEC is going to lose their lawsuit against Ripple, right? That lawsuit's been going on. It's been going on for what, like 8 years. But it's looking more and more like Ripple's going to actually pull through and win this thing. So now Gary Gensler is like, he under the gun, like, man, if I lose this thing and I don't have anything else to show for it, I'm going to be fired and my reputation is going to be tarnished, right? That I couldn't stop it. 2, Gensler is going after CZ because of his offer to work with Binance and them rejecting him. And so it just became personal. And so he has decided to weaponize his authority and declared war on CZ and Binance. And then 3, Gensler is being told by unknown big name people to clear the way for FedNow and CBDC implementation, right? CBDCs, digital currencies. FedNow is basically one of the biggest drawbacks of banks and moving money from country to country is the banks are working 9 to 5. So if I need money to be sent from America to Europe, France, Italy, whatever, right? It takes days to get wired, right? It's not instantaneous like blockchain is. So then that's when they said, you know what, let's create FedNow, which is going to be blockchain driven, and we'll start doing this. But the problem is they have that. So that's for only big name investors. Cryptocurrencies were to include all of us. It was to make it inclusive for all of us. So in order to get it inclusive for all of us, that's where CBDCs come in, the central bank digital currency. And we've talked about this. I've talked about this a number of times in the past, where CBDCs are a completely different animal from Bitcoin, right? From regular crypto, decentralized cryptocurrencies, in that it's programmable money. So if I'm saying the wrong thing, and like I say, I think we're in this pre-Bolshevik revolution in America. Once I'm the bad guy, the government can take the money that is supposed to go to my account and they can keep it all for themselves. They can freeze my assets on a dime. My taxes, they can take it all. So no more tax returns. They'll just do it all through the digital thing, and they have all tracking. They know exactly what I buy, when I buy, how much I buy. So they form your habits. They have all of the data that when you have a credit card or a debit card, or even cash even less, you can't see. If I go, and I go buy something on OfferUp, right? You don't know unless OfferUp reports or whatever. But say you go to a yard sale and you see something, or a pawn shop or whatever, you don't see what I'm buying, right? And they hate it. They want this control that is modeled off of China. We've heard so many leaders, like Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and we've heard it in our own country, where these elitists, these leaders, they love the Chinese model, where they have facial recognition at every corner. They have control of their whole population through money, and it's really messy. We have BlackRock that is telling companies that you have an ESG score that you have to follow, and if you don't hit certain thresholds, then we're not going to loan you money, which is weird because we have anti-monopoly laws, and yet BlackRock owns all of these countries or companies. It's just it's like we're just ignoring all of these laws. The other theory that I'm gonna float out here, this is gonna be the saber rattler. This is all big smoke and mirror campaign to keep us from paying attention to the Department of Justice's indictment of former President Donald Trump, who is also campaigning to be reelected. And if people saw how flimsy the case was, and the fact that the DOJ is using a 106-year-old law to charge him for espionage for something that every sitting president since Clinton has done, there might be a lot more attention being paid by the American public. So they're thinking the running theory is that if you take the money away from people, you wreck our portfolios, we're going to be focused so much on this that we're going to be completely removed from paying attention to what's going on to a former president and also the top contender to take on Joe Biden in this next election, which would be deemed election interference. And if we could prove that, or we could at least get enough awareness in the society to say, hey, I don't care who you're voting for, you can't do this to political opponents and political enemies. And again, that's what the Bolshevik revolution type of stuff is happening. This is third world behavior where dictators can go in and literally do the things that are happening in our country. So anyway, so what's next for crypto? Congress can act by implementing crypto regulations and definitions. They're the ones. This is the weird thing is Gary Gensler has taken it upon himself to decide if these are securities and regulations. He's not supposed to be the one with the authority. He's just supposed to enforce existing laws. Congress can come in and decide, okay, this is Bitcoin is a commodity. Ethereum, they have to decide, is it a security or a commodity? They have to decide on that. So the other thing is crypto is banned in the US, and it allows countries abroad, other countries, to take a leading role in blockchain technology. In America, if they're using the blockchain technology like CBDCs to control us, they're going to be okay with that, right? And then the thing that people had better pay attention to, because on Twitter, it's a mess right now, because the Bitcoin, what they call them Bitcoin maxis, they think that they're completely safe in all of this. They say, oh, we told you shouldn't have been in anything else but Bitcoin. But guess what? On a dime, they could deem Bitcoin, even though that the Security Exchange Commission, the predecessor, called Bitcoin a commodity, or maybe it was the CFTC that called it a commodity. Someone called it a commodity, already labeled it a commodity. So then basically Bitcoin became untouchable to the SEC, to Gary Gensler. But he himself, you can see it. He wants so bad to call Bitcoin a commodity. But either way, if they can somehow, some way get Bitcoin stopped, they can say, oh, it's being used by too many drug traffickers or money launderers or whatever, right? Elizabeth Warren is on a warpath on cryptocurrencies. She's trying so hard to fight against crypto. She wants the CBDCs. She wants to be able to control every single dollar that flows in and out of our pockets, and wants to see who has what and regulate it. So no matter what happens, good or bad for crypto, we won't see any final answers for at least another 5 to 10 years because of these lawsuits. They take so long to fight. So we're in this unknown, but to protect, people's monies, a lot of people are not going to work with Coinbase and Binance, and they can't work with Binance now. But we've lost a huge thing that we used to have, of access to freedom. We've lost a lot of freedom. So it's just crazy to see that this is all happening in live time.
Yeah, right off the rip, my theory is that this is all planned. I mean, from the very jump, the idea was to have this system, obviously, where your money is your money. You can spend it how you want it, when you want to, and no traceability. That you can control it at a push of a button, like from the user, from the person that's spending that, whatever coin that you're using. Obviously, the government, like you were mentioning, they have this fucking hunger for control, hunger for data that shows them, hey, Eduardo is spending money here at these times, these days during the week. I mean, it's just painted so clearly, right? That all of a sudden now they're trying to justify these reasons why they're doing this for I guess, for illegal activities being paid for, drug money, what is it, prostitution, you name it. They're probably paying all this stuff, right? But it's like, what's any different with money? Like, what's the difference with any dollars right now? Like, what is the difference? That's what
Exactly.
is so hypocritical to me, and that's why, to me, it's such a joke that they try to paint one thing a certain way, but we're gonna avoid what the dollar has been used for in the past. I mean, that never existed. Don't look over here. Crypto's the big bad wolf now. It's a joke to me, dude. And it's like you're saying, it's crazy that we're witnessing this play out in real time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so hypocritical, and it's stupid to me personally. I mean, it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, who am I? Who am I?
When I looked at everything, I said, this is crazy. And and I'm like, you know what? We don't have to stay in this country. We want to retire out of this country anyway. And so I was like, you know what? This actually, because instead of changing all of my cryptos for dollars and, just getting out of crypto, like, no, I'm going to stay in. I'm going to stay in crypto because there's two things that I'm going for. I'm already too far in to pull out. And so the two things I'm hoping for is that, all of my Bitcoin, that I can spend it outside of the country. So if I want to go on a vacation, then I'm going to be looking for a country that uses Bitcoin. And then, so even if I can't use it in America, I can still use it in another country.
For sure.
So that's my spending money. The other thing is if I have another crypto that moons and I can't do anything with it in America, then that's where, if it gets to the point where I'm like, I've got enough to move, then that's what I do, is I start working that out and saying, okay, we have enough to where we have plenty of crypto to live in a crypto friendly country. And that's what we do. We just move out of the country. So, the US it's in a weird position. And I think that what's going to happen is eventually unless the totalitarians win and really get these CBDCs shoved down our throats, which that's going to take an act of Congress. Congress has to agree on that. In the Constitution, the US dollar is the legal tender. That is our only legal tender. So, which is cash. And just because it's on a debit card, right, doesn't change it from being the dollar, right? I can exchange it for cash. What they're going to try to do in Congress, what they're going to try to get passed, is taking cash out of the system to where it's only digital. So that has to be passed by Congress. And the way they're going to do it is by using doom and gloom stories. They're going to use, all the crime. They're going to talk about how much drugs cash buys, as if the digital currency isn't going to buy drugs. What are you? And they know it. They know it, but they're going to try to sell it as if the CBDCs are going to be rainbows and unicorns. And it's an absolute lie. And anyone in cryptocurrency, and even people outside of cryptocurrency that are cash based, they know it. So what we have to do is just work with our local representatives, and we have to absolutely get involved. We have to get involved, and we're gonna, as those times start to come, draw nearer, we are going to have more organized campaigns to say, you guys, you don't want to go off this ledge, because this, I mean, our ancestors used to fight over 3% tax on tea. We went to war over that. And now you have Americans that are taxed at 40%, and we're just like, give me my stimmy. It's unreal. It's unreal what we are just slow. We are frogs being slowly boiled. And it's just like, nobody gets it. But for those of us that do get it, we are making our moves. We are, we are stacking our sats, and we're just not going to be a part of this system if we can help it. So sure, they can scare us whatever they can, but those of us in the crypto space, we are fighting hard, and we are not giving up. And you can see it. We saw all the altcoins take a plunge, but Bitcoin did not. It was almost like, it went to 25,000 just above 25,000, almost 26. And you could just see that Gary Gensler was just crapping his pants, like going, well, this didn't work out the way it was supposed to. So that's why I say, people, all you Bitcoin maxis are like vegans to me. You know how vegans just have to tell everyone they're vegans? Bitcoin maxis are the same. They're the worst breed in crypto. I can't stand them, even though I love Bitcoin. But these Bitcoin, they just rub your nose in every little thing. If you go anything outside, of Bitcoin, they're just going to say, told you so, told you so. They're like the vegans of crypto. Can't stand them. But so that's why I say, you Bitcoin maxis, be ready when the SEC comes after you, or maybe it's the CFTC, they come after you, the commodities end. They are coming after your Bitcoin. It's just that they have a 500 million, market cap, or what, $500 million or whatever, market cap. And so that's going to be the hardest one to take out. But don't, if they've already done all this, don't think that you're out of the woods.
No one's safe, pretty much, right? That's what you're saying.
Right. So distract us with more aliens. I don't care.
Oh, dude, I know, man. It's nah, man. It's they want to have something that they control. The Fed now. That's going to be their bread and butter right there. They're going to want everybody on that. It's lining up to. That's just what it's lining up to be, man. I mean, we called it because we've talked about this before on the podcast when we talked about this app that they're rolling out that they want to try, that it's instant digital money that's controlled by the Federal Reserve, right? So coincidence? I mean,
yeah, I definitely think there's some Freemasonry to it. I saw the number 13 twice in that, and I'm sure if I looked more, I could find more. So, there's definitely some creepy involvement in this one.
So more of the story, folks, if you're not into digital money, crypto, or anything in that regards, silver and gold, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless you are a visionary with the Bitcoin, and that there's countries that are adopting Bitcoin definitely left and right. And if you're one of those people and that fits your prerogative, your narrative, go for that too. Don't be afraid, but if you're someone who is not in crypto, doesn't have any, just know if you are getting in crypto, you're getting in for the right reasons. And that do DYOR. Or do your own research. Yeah. So, make sure that you know what you're getting into.
We're not financial advisors again for the
never.
Time.
Nah.
All right. So
I'm gonna tell you to get into meme coin. Go into Pepe.
So before we wrap this one up, I want to talk about one thing, and also because we love technology here. We've talked about tech before. I want to ask you first and foremost, have you heard about this new AR headset that Apple actually introduced a couple of days ago?
Not a fan. Yeah, I have.
Okay. So from your point, so you know what it does, correct? Like you kind of get the gist of it. Just for some folks that maybe don't know what this AR headset, the Apple Vision Pro, what it is. Like kind of like the schematics of it, like what it does and what its purpose is for, right? Correct.
So like, what if you're a gamer, you can wear them and it's almost like you're in the video game, right?
So that too, and I'll get to that as well. So think of this as pretty much it's augmented reality, meaning like how we look at our phones, correct? We see the menu, we can go to apps, switch between screens, and even now they integrated the whole YouTube, play the video as you're maybe typing a text or typing a note or something like that. You still have that screen open within another window. So these guys, they changed the game, and this is going to be a huge deal. This is why. So I'm gonna use a reference in the movie Iron Man. I don't know if you've probably seen it, right? Where he's looking at multiple screens and he's able to grab stuff from different screens and bring them together. This gives you the capability of doing that. So now think of it as if you have at work, right? Maybe we use 2 monitors or 3 monitors, 4 monitors. Some people use multiples, right?
Yeah.
This will completely change that. You no longer have to use any monitors whatsoever. All you have to do is place that AR headset on, and you're able to see all maybe 2, 3, 4 monitors all together. Zoom in, zoom out. You want to copy and paste, all you got to do is use your hands. You copy, grab here, put it over here. You're able to see all of that. and you don't even have to have a desk anymore. You only have to use a keyboard. Your mouse is your hand. I mean, dude, it's when I thought about this, I'm like, they're really trying to make it where it's going to get to a point where all you're going to have are either maybe like AR glasses, or better yet, they're going to implement this with what is it? Elon Musk's Neuralink. Because isn't that the objective he wants to do? He wants you to be able to control your phone or whatever devices with your mind.
Right.
So think about that. I mean, right now we're seeing it as phase one, kind of like back in the days when we saw the computer MacBooks or the MacBook computers. They were like whatever, right? We never thought of Apple being this megalithic, huge thing back a couple years ago. Microsoft was always overshadowing it. Like that was the it thing, Microsoft, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Fast forward, Apple has changed the game. The iPhone, the MacBooks, you name it, the Apple Watches,
iPod,
everything. The iPods when they came out. So this right here, this is just the beginning, man. And I think this is definitely going to reinvent.
So how much? What's the price?
$3,500.
Would you drop that kind of coin on that?
So you mentioned games. So okay, right now the way it is, I wouldn't. There's no way. I would want to try it out to see what it does and all that, like how it is and how immersive is it. That's my question. How immersed does one feel when they're in that thing, when they're wearing that AR headset? But let's say down the road, I mean, you played Fortnite, right? What if this could be a question for the both of us. What if they made one where you put it on, your controllers are your hands. You're still making it seem like you're using a controller with your hands, but it's like maybe they use some kind of glove. Yeah. But you're actually in the battlefield. You're actually, you're moving as your eye moves. It'll read your eye movements, and you're actually immersed in the game to where it's going to give you a totally 1,000% different experience. Now,
I'm just thinking of the anxiety. I can't wait.
It's going to keep you up at night like, huh?
I'm just thinking of all the busted drywall that I'm going to have in my crib.
Oh, man. I know. For that reason, if they were to do that to get to the level, which I'm sure they will, down the road, they're going to get to that point where it's going to be an immersive gaming experience. I would definitely do that. But as of now, right now, there's no way. That's a lot of money, too. $3,500 for that.
Yeah.
No way.
So the cool thing I would like about that, right, is say you are doing a podcast, right?
Oh, for sure. Okay.
And so, we're taking it to, I mean, for lack of a better term, the metaverse.
Yes.
And so here we are. We're sitting there and we're interviewing, our guy, we managed to get Vladimir Putin to sit down with us,
Okay.
So he's talking live from Moscow, and we're just like, bro, and it translates anything he says into English live time too, and it translates everything we say into Russian. So we're just having this dialogue with him. I'm just like, bro, what can we do to end this? And he's just like, well, it's simple. If we can annex Crimea, we get Crimea, and we get the eastern end of Ukraine, we'll call it a day. And then so that's our podcast. It's like an hour of sitting down with Putin. But the cool thing would be if it would be like the Twitter Spaces. Have you done any of those Twitter Spaces?
I haven't. No, I haven't. No.
Oh man, they're so cool, man. It's like these people just chime in, and it's almost like what Clubhouse, they tried to make Clubhouse in.
Oh, okay. Yes, I have. I've tried that. Yes, I have. Excuse me. Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
So yeah, like RFK Jr. Did his Twitter space. I've been listening to a bunch of crypto Twitter spaces. Mm-hmm. So it would be like that, but in augmented reality.
Oh, dude, I'm all for it.
So so if we're having this meeting with Putin, right? Everybody else would be silent. The audience would be silent, but they could literally see it in live time.
That's what's gonna. Yeah, that's literally what this could do with movies, shows, you name it. I mean, it's gonna do that. So, I mean, dude, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm really curious to see these reviews once it does come out, because it's not gonna come out for another year, but they just announced it, so they're gonna start coming out in 2024. And yeah, I mean, they're gonna make apps for it and everything. I mean, you name it. All you need is that headset, and you're good.
The Theodore Kaczynski in me wants to say that that's just more technology, and my fear is that it's going to keep us indoors more, and we're just not. And the more we're indoors, the less outdoor that we get, the crazier we become. We need, that's why going camping, going hiking, doing all, being out in nature is so important for mental health, and it's so underrated. If you ever hear anybody about, talking about mental health, they'll just say, oh, read a book or do yoga or whatever. But like, dude, get out in the woods, out in nature.
Go catch some sun.
Yeah, right. Have a beer next to a river and see how good it feels.
Oh, dude, it's dude, phenomenal.
Smelling the
I can't wait to go
pine.
camping. Yeah, smell the fresh, like the fresh air of the trees, everything. Camping out by the fire, going swimming by the lake, dude. It's just a different setting, dude. You know what I'm saying?
There was this. I got to tell you about this Cambodian chick that had an interaction with. It was the weirdest thing.
Let's hear it. I can't wait.
It was like clearly reverse racism, but we're like white people sitting there at the the counter, and the issue of camping got brought up, and she's like, looks over at the guy next to me, and she's like, you white people really like to go camping. I'm like, whoa,
okay.
I could never say that. I could say, oh, you Cambodians like to do this or whatever, right? I could never get away with saying, you Cambodians really like to heat up fish in the microwave.
Yeah.
It'd be my last day.
Oh, dude.
I could never get away with that.
So she just straight up said that, like
she just like said it like no shame in her game, and I'm just like, we're all like, all of us white people are looking at each other like, who's gonna say something? And we all just like put our heads down, like, oh, let's just not. We're living in a new day, boys.
Oh man,
dude, call this out.
Insane, dude. It's like, I have a good day too.
Yeah, like, we like to go camping. We sure do.
We do. Yeah. That is crazy. Some people.
Oh man,
just don't say anything at all. I've always learned when you were little, there's nothing nice to say. Nothing like that. Obviously, it's gonna come out, I guess. Okay, don't say anything. That's just what I've learned, So
yeah,
I don't know. That's
yeah. I wonder what else she thinks about white people.
Oh God. Yeah. So yeah, that's insane. That's insane. But yeah, brother. So Apple, they're coming out with augmented reality. It's gonna get better from here on out. Is it gonna be good for us, bad for us? Obviously, you're right. You brought up a good point. We're already addicted to our phones, social media in general. I don't know, man. I mean, we're going to see how this pans out and how it's going to affect people, but we'll see. I mean, they said it's going to come out early 2024 and we'll go from there. But yeah, amazing piece of tech. Personally,
it's probably going to be a success. It'll probably go big.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get inside of that augmented reality too. You see the two duo just in a somewhere we'll be immersed somewhere, you'll be able to see it in real time. Maybe.
Oh yeah, dude. Porn's gonna be a totally different experience.
Definitely. But other than that, I feel like we've reached our destination. I'm glad to be back.
We've overstayed our welcome.
Oh yeah, no, dude. I know it's all good. I mean, when you're having a good time, you lose track of time, and it is what it is. So we just keep on flowing. But of course, apologize for the absence of not recording these past 2 weekends. We both had some stuff planned out. Yours truly, another trip around the sun. I'm officially 34 years old.
Oh wow!
So yeah, another year. Thank you, sir. Another year older. So how to celebrate that with the family and all that good stuff. So yeah, but when this comes out, hopefully everybody has a fantastic Friday, fantastic weekend overall. Don't forget to check out all our previous content that's available wherever you can find us: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn FM Radio, YouTube. Go check out our YouTube content. We have all our videos to all our episodes on there. Go check it out. And we'll also have a direct link to all our links where we're available. If you follow us on our social media, Instagram, on our account there, Beyond Expedition Podcast. So go check that out. But till then, we'll catch you on the next one. We love you. Take care. Stay safe out there. And we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.